Hello everyone, and welcome to home vlog number 4, where we're here today to show you guys our pin boards.
This is just one of them.
So I have my own, Brandon has his own, and then you have that state one too.
That's right, I got a second one. So we're gonna go over some of our pins on our pin board, and typically we leave the pin board as our favorite pins, or our favorite collection of pins, and yeah, so we get to check out both of our special pins. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So this is my pin board here. As you can tell, it's very princess oriented because they're my favorite. But so this side here is all of my collections that are not done yet, except for this one. I worked super hard on it. So these are from Hong Kong. And it took me forever. So I ended up getting this one last, and my friend traded it with me. Like, she was like, oh, I have this. I'm like, oh, I need it. So these are all not done. I think this one is done. I just finished it the last time we went to the parks. I just haven't taken it off my board yet. And at first I really didn't like these pins, but because they're like little comics, and it says, diamond in the rough, I want a princess cut. Like, Jasmine would never say that. Like, but whatever. I finished it. And then what else is special on this edge? Not much really. This one I started and quickly realized I'm not gonna finish it because the boxes disappeared. They are the Wreck-It Ralph mystery boxes, and we haven't found them ever since, or else I would buy them. My board is a bit mishmashed. I need to go through it again. But I actually am redoing my pin book. So I'm putting cardboard in the pages. So once that's done, I'll probably transfer some of this off of here, but I wanted you to see everything that I had. These guys here are from Shanghai. Marvel, super cool. I think I don't know, I probably don't have all of them yet. And then I just started this one, Current Mood. Captain Marvel, I love her. And then these are all my princess pins. So I've got a bunch of Cinderella pins. She's my favorite. And then a bunch of group princess pins. Sleeping Beauty, Aladdin, Moana, Rapunzel, which I don't have as many as I thought I did. Pocahontas. These are really cool. Little Mermaid. And then here's some anniversary pins. So it was Sleeping Beauty's anniversary. Oh, it spins, that's right. And it goes pink to blue. And then it switches over to pink. I think it goes in a complete circle. And then Snow White anniversary pins, that opens. And then this guy moves, so they go off into the sunset, like the end of the movie, and it says happily ever after. This one opens, and it's Lady Tremaine. Oh, this is the Halloween one, Trick or Treat, because, you know, why not? And then we've got some seasons, so summer, and then I think that was Food and Wine Festival. I don't think it does anything. And then I really like Eeyore, so thanks for noticing me. So these ones in the middle are the ones that like mean a lot to me. So I was not gonna get this pin because I saw it on, like, you know, the blogs, and I was like, no, I don't need to buy however much $50 pin. I bought it. It's so cool. It's so in detail. So that means a lot to me. And then the ones surrounding it kind of mean a lot to me. Animal Kingdom. So the Give Kids the World pin means a lot to me because I volunteer there. And then I just really like that pin because I love animals. And I really like the, even though it's not like real conservation because it's Pandora, but I still like it. Sloths. So one of these is from SeaWorld. One of these is from Busch Gardens. And I realized just now that I don't have any pins from Universal, like at all. So that's gonna have to change once the parks open back up. And then my grandpa was in the Army and he passed away like a year ago, so I had to put that on here. And I love dolphins. And then this was the Christmas pin from SeaWorld that we got for free. And 50 years of Sesame Street, because I mean, you have to have a Sesame Street pin. So these pins right here are the pins I just, like this was the last one that would fit on my pin board that I completed, the monthly pins. So they're little storybooks. So you just open it up and it has a little story on the side here. So Mulan, Tangled, The Wind in the Willows, Mickey's Christmas Carol was obviously during Christmas time. Let me close those up before I go to the next section. So Beauty and the Beast, Hercules, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Princess and the Frog, she's wishing upon a star, Peter Pan, Alice, Winnie the Pooh and his honey, and 101 Dalmatians. I'll fix that later. So this one down here was the first monthly pin I started, but I started it late. So Brandon told me, he was like, Jen, you should start these, you should start these. And I was like, no. So it's like good versus evil. So the good is in the silhouette and then the evil is here. And I started with Cinderella because she's my favorite. So I still have these on the board because it is not completed. I don't know if I'll ever be able to complete it, but hopefully one day. And more pins over here. These are all my foreign pins. So I somehow am very good at finding the foreign pins. So some of these I did buy online, like these guys and these two, and then these two I think, from an online retailer. He's really good at what he does. It's Tokyo Kawaii Club. So any really cool pin that I see on his site that I can't live without, I buy. So, but I don't do it all the time because I feel like it's more fun to find them. So these guys here are Paris. These are Hong Kong. These are Tokyo. And these are Shanghai. So I have a lot of Shanghai pins and they make really cute pins. Like I really like all of them. Actually, I like all my foreign pins, let's be real. And then on the bottom here, I have from some cruise line pins to Scrooge McDuck. And then my first trip to Disneyland, we did the Walk in Walt's Footsteps, which I highly, highly, highly recommend everybody do if they go to Disneyland. You get this nice pin. Let me move this real quick because it's not gonna open. And it's got the partner statue and the welcome plaque. But that tour is amazing and everybody should do it. And then I just got my Disneyland and I love Mater's Junkyard Jamboree, so had to do that. So that's my pin board. I hope you like it. I'm gonna organize it better and I'll post photos on Instagram once I'm done my pin books. So you can see the end result of my pin board. So I'll post that on Instagram.
All right, so now it's time for my pin board. You'll notice it's kind of, most of them are box pin sets, either limited release or limited edition, but we'll go through them. This is kind of a bunch of pins that I particularly love. The redhead pin from Pirates of the Caribbean before she was converted into a pirate. The Contemporary Resort, because I actually stayed at the Contemporary Resort during Hurricane Matthew, which was actually very interesting because the parks closed down during that time. So I had to get the pin for that. we got our monorail pins. I am a huge fan of the monorails, so I felt like it was only necessary to have the pins to go with that. Hollywood Studios, huge fan of Hollywood Studios, movies, everything like that. Then there was a period of time where I was trying to collect the hidden Mickey parking lots. You might remember in the video where we showed you my pin book, I had some of the parking lot heroes. Still working on the villains. I think I'm missing one villain. So typically what I do is I use the pin board to gather the pins, and then once I complete the set, I end up putting it in the pin book. But you'll see I've got an Epcot one, Discover. Those are going to be very difficult to find because they are way out of circulation at this point. And same with the Hollywood Studios, which is no longer film anymore. They've rethemed them. So those I'll probably never find. And then Animal Kingdom as well. But yeah, I think those are fun sets. This is that set from California. We saw the Walt Disney World version of the March Magic. So this is the Disneyland version. I did not finish this because we were only in Disneyland for a week, and I couldn't spend any more money on pins, quite frankly. This was another pin box set, which was, I believe, the 28 in Maine. These are all shirts that you can get at 28 in Maine. This is kind of my Star Wars section. A huge fan of Force Awakens, and that's kind of what this set is. Although I think I'm missing one or two pins from this set. Rise of Skywalker, great movie. Rey, love Rey. The Last Jedi. Rogue One, Rey again. Yeah, pretty fun. And then bouncing back up to the top here, this was actually the new Soarin' pin book. This was, or I guess this was open edition at the time, but this was a part of the pin box set of Soarin' when they rethemed Soarin' to Soarin' Around the World, which I thought was really cool. That was a limited release pin box. And to kind of touch on what limited release and limited edition, open edition means that they make an infinite amount for undisclosed amount of time. It's just, they're very common. Limited release, which is what this one is, and the Star Wars one, those are pins that they make an infinite amount of for a short period of time. And then the really rare ones are the limited edition pins. The limited edition pins are ones that they have a finite amount made, and once they're gone, they're gone. So those are the more rare ones. This was a limited release pin set, so that was only for the opening of Soarin'. Surfboards, I thought these were fun. That's actually a complete set at this point. I can move that into my pin book. Still have not completed the Disneyland stamp collection. It goes 2 cent, 3 cent, 4 cent, 5 cent, and I'm missing 6 and 7 cents. I have not been able to find those. I found everything else, but I'm a huge fan of Disneyland pins, being that I'm from Anaheim, so I try to collect Disneyland pins whenever possible, just like how Jen collects her foreign pins. And then we've got, I think these are also Disneyland pins right here, if I'm not mistaken. This was my Marvel one. It actually is in order that the movies came out. And then I ran out of space, so I ran up here. So now you got Endgame and Far From Home up here. But these were limited edition pins that came out right after a movie would come out. So we would go straight to the pin store right after seeing it at right after seeing it at Disney Springs AMC, we would go straight over to the pin store and purchase the limited edition pin. Over here is my WallE section. As you know, I'm a huge fan of WallE. So I've got the anniversary, the 10-year, I believe 10-year anniversary, yeah, 10-year anniversary of WallE. Right there you can see Eva with her shoe, and then the plant, and then Mo, and then WallE with the shoe. Really fun. I'm not a huge fan of hinge pins, but this one I couldn't pass up. It was a really cool set. And then we had some other WallE pins, because WallE's been used for Earth Day before, so we see a lot of Earth Day WallE pins. This one I love, and I never completed it. It was for Beauty and the Beast's anniversary. And what it was a limited edition pin release. And they had the characters in their human form and their characters in the transformed form. And you'll notice the two are stained glass picture when up next to each other. I think that's so cool. It's one of the coolest ones, but it was a tricky pin set to collect because it was one revealed pin and one non-revealed pin. So when you were picking boxes, you'd only be able to see the revealed pin, and then you didn't know what the mystery pin was. So I would buy the characters that I need. You'll see that I have all the other characters, but I just couldn't find their mystery counterpart to go with it. So it was a very difficult pin set to complete. I usually stay away from those ever since I failed on that one. So this is the playing card set from Nightmare Before Christmas. That has been around for many, many years, although I haven't seen it lately, so I don't know if they still have it. Back up at the top, we got Trader Sam's, California Adventures, another California Adventures pin. You'll see I got a lot of Disneyland pins. The Fast Pass pins, I love these. I try and gobble these up whenever I see them because they don't have paper Fast Passes anymore. So anytime you can get a pin that has a paper Fast Pass or any type of old history on Disney is always something to get, just like the old Fast Pass logo that you used to see on maps and guide maps. This is a set that I started thinking it would be easy, and I've been searching ever since. It's all the continents. This is a North America continent, this is Europe, and I have yet to find any of the other ones. So hopefully they'll appear, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to see them. I did go through a spurt where I wanted to collect all the holidays, so we have some Independence ones here. There's just so many pins for holidays at this point. I'd have a whole board devoted to that. Another Disneyland pin for their 60th, Epcot Flower and Garden Festival with Figment, Maelstrom, love Maelstrom, a 30-year anniversary of Maelstrom, Forky, one of the few Forky pins that I have found, saying I'm homemade. Huey. So like I said, this is a kind of an impartial collection. This is not a complete set. There's only a few pins sets on here that are complete that I need to transfer over to books. Like this one right here. This is the video games, I believe, the old video game set. It was a bi-monthly set that they released. They were limited edition, and they were released every other month. And on the months that they didn't release here in Disney World, they released one in Disneyland. So I wasn't gonna fly out there and get those, so just cut my losses on the Disneyland ones and got the ones here at Disney World. This guy right here is one of my favorite sets that I completed. Is the Shanghai limited edition set. It looks like it's icons from all the major attractions there. And then we've got some, let's see here. This was from Mickey's birthday. So that was his 90th birthday pin set. We got Lion King anniversary pin, Tron, Oswald, love the Oswald ones. Those are really cool. They're translucent. Some license plate ones, Everest and Horizons, that I'm still in the process of collecting. This one was very infuriating. This is the Toy Story Land, I guess they're blocks, toy blocks. And yeah, I never finished it. I kept getting the same ones over and over again. I cut my losses. I think I'm missing one. But that was the grand opening Toy Story Land pin set. They look like toy blocks, which is kind of fun. These are fairly new. They're like the attractions at Walt Disney World. There's just so many pins, I can't cover them all, but I did start this pin box set over here, the balloons, and I think I'm 1 or 2 shy on that. Gotta have the Fantasy and the Dream. Here's my cruise line pin, the Captain's pin, which is fun. And some other hidden Mickey ones that I've been working on, but yeah, so this is kind of my impartial board. This is all the pins that I have not completed yet, and there's only a few that have been completed. I need to transfer those to books, but I'll keep an eye out for all these in the parks, and as I find them, I add them to the list, and once the pin set is complete, then I transfer it over to the book. Oh yeah, and that's the Star Wars lightsaber building. That's the pin that they gave me when I built the lightsaber. Put a link to the top right-hand corner of when we actually built the lightsaber and I got that pin. So that pretty much covers this board. I do have a second board that is complete. It's one of my prized possessions. It's one of the hardest pin sets I've ever done. I've spent the most money on it. Let's go check it out. Okay, so this is probably my most prized pin collection. It even has its own board because I love it so much. But it's all the 50 states in a pin set with all the different characters doing something that pertains to that state. As you know, I love maps. So when I saw this pin set, I told myself I needed to get it done. And I spent a fortune trying to find these pieces. I even had to go online to complete some of them because some of them were completely out of circulation. But I want to say it came out, I believe 2019, so last year. And it was but I think it was a late 2018, early 2019 pin box set. It was called the American Adventure Pin Set. And what's neat is you'll notice that all the characters are doing something that pertains to that state or what that state's known for. Now you might notice that some of them are black and white and some of them are in color. That's because the black and white ones are what they consider chaser pins or limited edition pins. So the whole set was a limited release. It was only for a short period of time. I think it was 6 months total. But these pins that are black and white are considered limited editions. And they're actually limited editions of 200, which means there's only 200 of them made in black and white. And I have one for Alaska, California, Idaho, and I think the Carolinas, North Carolina, South Carolina, and upstate New York. So yeah, very cool. I love this set. I loved putting it together. It was a fortune, but it was fun. It was very tedious. I want to say it's like 20 pins, something like that. Some states they have conjoined together because you just couldn't possibly do every different state. But I love this set. I love Donald's hat on Texas. You got Goofy for Florida. I love the California one with the movie set. Hawaii, daisy surfing. There's just some really cool things that you could spend a lot of time just looking at all the details. The Walt Disney in Illinois, a lot of Chip and Dale. This is a fun set. This is probably one of my favorite sets I've ever done. Like I said, it got its own board. Maybe I'll put some other pins on it, but it is a fun set. And when it's put all together, it looks amazing. But yeah, that's pretty much my pin boards. I still have pins that I haven't assigned spots on my board because my board's too tight and I gotta put them in my book. So there's still plenty of pins that I still have yet to really show anybody, but they will find a home soon. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
So that's our pins. Comment down below what your favorite pin that you saw was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like to see what you think.
Absolutely. If you like that video, be sure to hit the video directly above our heads. That's when we did our last pin video where we covered all the pins that are in our pin book. And that video over there is a video that YouTube recommends for you. If you want to join our adventures, tell them what to do.
Hit that subscribe button and make sure to hit that notification bell.
Until next time, see you real soon.